It's a wonderful day in Chelsea Football Club because the sacking of Graham Potter has finally come. It came last night, Sunday, the 2nd of April. I thought it would have been a joke if it was a day before. I thought April Fools would have actually been a joke. But no, we actually have Graham Potter sacked. Now, I'm having mixed feelings because I'm overjoyed by the fact that we've sacked Graham Potter now as a manager, because I feel like as if he was out of his depth. I've been going on about it for a very long time now. He's used all these players. He's tried to find systems. He's tried to find formations, and I haven't seen a style of play. I wouldn't mind if he had to fidget around a few players and try different things, but I wanted to see a style, and that is inevitably what I never got to see over his tenure. Like, not one bit of difference. If anything, we regressed. He won 28% of games, the worst Chelsea manager in history. And look at what we've come from being. Look at the Chelsea that we've seen. Like, we've seen some really bad sides. We've seen some really great sides. And would you call this side really bad? I wouldn't. And he has yet been able to find a way to become Chelsea's worst ever manager. But this is why I'm kind of in mixed minds, because personally, for me, it doesn't make sense, because Todd Boehly and his consortium were very, very confident in saying that we're going to back Potter, we're going to back the project, we believe in Potter, we believe that it's going to take him a little bit of time to get it going. All these kind of signs that what they were backing him. Constantly the board saying that we're backing him. If they're backing him, what difference did it make of the losses that he's taken recently? Because he went on a run just before he lost to Aston Villa on the weekend. So if they were backing him regardless of results, why have they now gone back on themselves to then sack him? I've been at the Chelsea games recently, and it's not been toxic. It's I think for the first time on the weekend, I went to the Villa game at home and I heard the fans actually singing "You Don't Know What You're Doing" to Graham Potter at halftime. There's been loud boos at the end of games, at the end of half performances. I haven't been there and actually heard that until Aston Villa on the weekend. You don't know what you're doing. And clearly, Todd Boehly's reacted to the way that the fans have been speaking recently and the way that the fans have reacted. Maybe, I don't know if he has or maybe he has. I'm not too sure. But I really want Todd Boehly and the board to come out and explain the reasons for why they actually sacked him. Because I'm not sold on the reasons why they've sold him. I don't know. We don't know. He's parted company with the club. He said he's going to make it work on a smooth transition to the next Chelsea manager. Bruno Solta is our manager at the moment. He is one of the member of staff that Graham Potter brought along with him from Brighton. So he will be still managing us. So I don't understand. Like, in Bruno's press conference, it was kind of like it was still a process. Like, the process is still to develop this side. So is he going to still implement the styles and the team that what Potter was doing? I'm not too sure. So I'm in two minds, because I would have rather Todd Boehly die on his sword and actually stick with Graham Potter. If he wants to sack him later on down the line, in the pre-season or for next year, and get a manager in for the pre-season, fair enough, I wouldn't mind. If he came out at the end of the season after we lose to Real Madrid or lose to Bayern or lose to City, if we get past Real Madrid, at least then there's a reason to say, you know what, he's failed in every aspect of this season, hasn't got us through to any FA Cups, any Carling Cups, well, not Carling Cups, but the League Cup, any Champions League, and then fair enough, he could warrant sacking him. But to sack him now before we go into the Real Madrid game, it's like as if he feels like, has people been telling him that every time we seem to sack a manager before we get to the nitty-gritty stages of the Champions League that we end up winning it? I think he's going on the omen. Like, is this really that? Is it really vibes at Chelsea? Because everyone's like chopping and changing their opinions on the board and as owners. So I really want to hear from the board and the owners of what their reasons were for actually sacking Graham Potter. Because for me, I always felt that as if they were back in the project. Second point we can talk about. Who will now be the new manager of Chelsea? Who are the options? Obviously, Nagelsmann's just been sacked from Bayern Munich, and he becomes available. It's like everyone's rotating around teams of someone gets sacked, they move to the team that the other person just got sacked from. But Nagelsmann has been linked. A young manager, 35, has done good jobs, just like how Graham Potter has done good jobs at previous smaller clubs. 35 years old is very young. Looks like a good manager. He looks like as if he's coped well with the sides he's managed. It's a very tough one to ask, because it's a very tough one to decipher, because Bayern Munich, as you see with Chelsea, we play a back five. Bayern Munich have implemented back five sometimes, but they've paid Kimmich as a lone DM. And Bayern Munich have had many games where they've conceded a lot of goals. And Kimmich is an unbelievable player. But for him to play as a lone six in this system and playing inevitably like a 3-1-6 kind of formation is a bit mad for me. So I don't know if that will work in our league. But he looks like a promising manager. I don't mind giving him a chance. I think anybody is better than Graham Potter with the record that he gave us. So yeah, I wouldn't be inclined to reject him. I wouldn't mind Nagelsmann. Who would want Mourinho 2.0 again? Or should we say 3.0, because this will be the third time he's come back. But Jose Mourinho coming back with money available to him seems like a dangerous animal to me. I think it would be feared. I think that character back in the Chelsea team and the club would be great. I don't necessarily think that there's... People have that opinion about Jose Mourinho that they think he's outdated. They think he's a dinosaur. I don't think he is. I think he done as good of a job as what he could have done with Man United. He had a pretty mediocre side there. Tottenham, no one ever seems to succeed at Tottenham. It seems like a job that will never ever be able to bring any titles around anytime soon until they revamp their squad and put some real investment into their team. So I wouldn't mind Jose Mourinho. I think I don't mind like forgiving him for joining Tottenham and joining United, but his success has always come from Chelsea, and his team was always Chelsea. So it'll be nice to see Jose. I wouldn't mind it. Who else is there available? We've got Zidane. Can deal with big egos. Has he got a real coaching staff behind him that's going to come with him? I don't know. Was it the Real Madrid coaching staff that was kind of like the main reason for what of his successes at Real Madrid as a manager? I don't know. Maybe if we see with Zidane, if he comes out and says anything, we'll have to wait and see. Pochettino, I don't want Pochettino. I don't want scraps from Tottenham. I don't think he's a good enough manager, not for us. Who else is there? Antonio Conte just got sacked. Obviously a Premier League winner with Chelsea previously, but I'm not going back to that style of football. I didn't like the style of football that Conte played. He found a way to win us the league, but I think it was a bit of a thing where the back five at that time was just a fresh idea, and I think teams weren't really accustomed to it, and I think people are accustomed to it now. So yeah, I'm not sure about Conte. Brendan Rodgers, obviously he was a youth coach at Chelsea when he was in his younger days. Said a few salty things, but managers have said worse. We got Rafa Benitez in and he's managed us. So even though Brendan was a part of our coaching staff in the youth teams, I wouldn't mind seeing him come back. He doesn't seem bad. I don't know, maybe Brendan might... I like Brendan's style. I don't know whether it's sustainable long term, but... I don't know, maybe Brendan as an option. I don't know. I think you got Luis Enrique. Also, I forgot about Luis Enrique. Biggest one that's been linked, Enrique Nagelsmann. Enrique obviously is used to dealing with big egos in squads. Obviously dropped Sergio Ramos out of the Spanish side for the World Cup. Even though England seemed to bring Conor Cody along for charisma and character building in the squad and making the team a better place, even though it was non-football related. But yeah, Enrique didn't even want to bring Ramos to the squad, even though he's still playing at a high level. So yeah, I'm not too sure about Enrique's tactics or in game changing it around. I'm not too sure, but managed a big side in Barcelona. So yeah, I don't mind it either. I really don't mind anybody at the moment. So we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, that's my views on the Potter kind of situation. Like, comment, subscribe. I haven't uploaded. I know I haven't uploaded recently on a lot of the games, but keep locked in. My studio is soon finished, so I'm gonna be able to put up a lot more content, much more consistently, and much more uploads coming soon. As soon as the studio's done, I'm gonna be uploading. So keep locked in and keep supporting, and hopefully we get behind the manager, and hopefully he brings us number 3. See you later.